So take the picture which is photocopied on the cartridge paper, then use glue and apply glue only to areas where you would like to have some texture supported, as you see here. The tissue paper will only be used in some areas of your picture, and I will add just glue where I need, and then I will add tissue paper on the top. Then we need to dry it with a hairdryer, and when it's dry we're going to add some color to it as well. You might even add it to the trees, only to the areas where you really want to have texture and which you will be drawing into. The rest can stay as it is. Okay, so quickly. We're only using white tissue paper, and you can layer it as well. I always scrunch the tissue paper to get that lovely texture which you see on the result after. And I will stick it onto the areas where the glue is. It will dry with a hairdryer because you want to add color to it. You will add colors to it, but the colors we're using are acrylics and they need to be diluted, watered down. So I only use primary colors and I mix all the other colors. I'm thinking about my landscape. It would be good to have a color image as well to look what the colors are like, but I can change the color scheme as well. I'm in charge of this now. So I can start with maybe blue, but as I said, I need to dilute it because I want to see through the color. So if I'm adding even to the places where there is no tissue paper, I'm adding color like I was using watercolors, okay? But I want to go to the tissue paper and just brush it in because I'm doing these trees with obviously the sky. I will put blue first underneath the trees. If you have trees as well, think about if you have the background, obviously with the sky, first blue. And then I would be thinking, where else I can use blue on my picture whilst I have blue, and I would be adding blue anywhere else. Anywhere else I think I can have it. Then I will be mixing other colors. So I'm adding ochre to my blue to create some nice greens. And I'm adding greens. And you see it's still transparent. The colors are transparent because I want to see my picture. If I add very thick paint, I won't be able to see it. So you make sure you dilute it and using acrylics like they were watercolors. Now, after you dried your painting, it's painted with the tissue paper, you want to get rid of all the tissue paper from it. So the result will be flat, but you will still have nice textures on it. So you take the sandpaper and you sand off any paper which you don't want to see there. And you will end up just with some areas covered with tissue paper and some areas will have the picture as it is. What is really nice about this technique, when you're using sandpaper and you're sanding to your picture, it's also creating some distortion to your photograph. So you can actually emphasize more grass, if you have grass on your picture, or you will just distort it more, which will be quite a nice effect as well. You're going to add drawing to your photograph to emphasize some texture and bring some details and also show that you have drawing skills. Pick up some area of your drawing and you start using. If using biro pen, it's easier because when you release the pressure, you can also press hard and have some areas really dark. So the biro pen is the first medium I would advise to use. But you can combine it with fine liners and Sharpies as well. Sharpies are good, especially when you have really dark areas there. I would always suggest to have the copy of your picture which you're referring to, so you see where the darkness and lightness is. But the Sharpies will bring up contrast, where biro pen you can use to release that pressure and add more texture, more details. And in combination with fine liner as well, you can get really strong, striking results. And just emphasize the drawing in areas where you really want. The result might look like this. So you will have some areas with tissue paper, with color, some areas without. You will still see a bit of photograph, but you will also have focus of your drawing.